For years, a specific subset of the RPG audience has been clamoring for a true spiritual successor to the classic Paper Mario titles. Many indie developers have tried to capture that elusive blend of whimsy, timing-based combat, and storybook aesthetics. Few have managed to nail the soul of the inspiration. Escape from Ever After, developed by Sleepy Castle Studio, makes a bold attempt to fill this void. It swaps the pure fantasy of the Mushroom Kingdom for a biting, satirical collision between fairy tale wonder and crushing corporate capitalism. The premise of Escape from Ever After is arguably its strongest asset. You play as Flint Buckler, a classic storybook hero destined to storm the castle and slay the dragon Tinder. However, upon arrival, Flint discovers that the Ever After has been acquired by a real-world conglomerate, Ever After Inc. The majestic dragon has been downsized, literally and metaphorically, into a small, disgruntled companion, and the castle is now a bustling corporate headquarters exploiting fairy tale labor. The writing shines here, balancing the fractured fairy tale humor popularized by Shrek with a modern, late-stage capitalism satire. The dialogue is sharp, often breaking the fourth wall, or as the game posits, the fourth window, to poke fun at bureaucratic absurdity. Characters like Mr. Moon, the manager who speaks in corporate buzzwords, and the skeleton HR representative ground the fantastical setting in the hilarious mundane reality. The relationship between Flint and the nerded dragon Tinder serves as the emotional core. Their banter evolves from hostility to a genuine buddy cop dynamic that drives the plot forward. It is a story that manages to be funny without feeling too desperate for laughs, a difficult balance to strike in comedy games. The world of Escape from Ever After is a delightful fusion of 2D characters and 3D environments, crafted with a pop-up book aesthetic that feels vibrant and alive. Exploration is central to the gameplay loop. As Flint, you traverse various departments of the corporation, which are themed around classic fairy tale tropes twisted into office environments. The exploration mechanics rely heavily on Flint's abilities. You can jump and use your buckler, aka shield, to interact with the world. The buckler acts as your primary tool for solving environmental puzzles. You might throw it to hit distant switches, break crates for resources, or ricochet it off surfaces to reach inaccessible areas. The game encourages curiosity, rewarding players who poke around every cubicle and corner with collectibles like sun gems used for trading and ink bottles used for upgrading abilities. The environmental design is dense, often requiring you to revisit areas with new partner members who have their own unique skills. Escape from Ever After wears its inspirations on its sleeve. The core gameplay loop revolves around turn-based combat that demands constant player engagement. Attacks are not static. They require action commands, timed button presses to maximize damage or execute flashy moves. Defensively, the player must time blocks to negate damage. When it clicks, the combat feels rhythmic and rewarding, preventing the mash A to win fatigue common in turn-based RPGs. The game also introduces a synergy system. Because Flint fights alongside Tinder and eventually other partner members, players can execute team-up attacks that utilize shared resource pools. This adds a layer of strategy, forcing you to manage not just health and magic points, MP, but also the specific cooldowns and positioning of your squad. Outside of combat, the office acts as a central hub. Here, the game leans into its premise, allowing players to decorate their cubicle and interact with coworkers. It's a clever way to integrate the menu and upgrade systems into the narrative. Instead of just buying a skill from a shop, you might be filing paperwork or navigating office politics to unlock a new ability. This integration of theme and mechanic is where the game feels most innovative. The soundtrack complements the game perfectly. The score is a mix of high-energy, jazzy big band numbers reminiscent of frantic city life, and more traditional, sweeping orchestral tracks for the fantasy segments. The battle themes are particularly catchy, maintaining the energy needed for the reflex-heavy combat. Despite its charm, Escape from Ever After is not without its flaws. The difficulty spikes in combat can be jarring. While the aesthetic is cute, the enemies can be punishing. The timing windows for action commands, especially blocking, are quite strict. If you miss a block against a boss or a heavy-hitting enemy, you can lose a massive chunk of health instantly. For players expecting a breezy, casual experience, the demand for reflex precision might feel like a barrier. The game often requires you to backtrack to previous areas once you unlock a new partner ability. While this is standard for the genre, the movement speed and the frequency of enemy encounters during these backtracking segments can feel like a chore rather than a rewarding treasure hunt. The corporate bureaucracy theme, while funny, occasionally bleeds into the mission design, leading to a few fetch quests that feel like busy work, though perhaps that was the developer's ironic intention. Escape from Ever After is a lovingly crafted tribute to RPGs of the past that successfully carves out its own identity through its brilliant satirical setting. The combat is snappy and engaging, the writing is genuinely funny, and the world is a joy to look at. Although there is some absurdity, it doesn't hinder the sheer charm of climbing the corporate ladder as a fairy tale knight. I will give Escape from Ever After a score of 8.5 out of 10. That's a wrap-up of our review. Don't forget to check out other indie game reviews and the top indie games list. Thank you for watching, guys, and see you in the next video.